and Ron.
Buonasera, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cucina Quarantena. Tonight we're going to make something that is, let's just say, fake Italian. It's not real Italian. We're going to be making is a pasta Alfredo, fettuccine Alfredo. And I know that's a really popular one, especially chicken fettuccine Alfredo, which is what we're going to make tonight. Such a completely Olive Garden-y kind of thing. It's not something you'd ever see. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever seen chicken in pasta anywhere in Italy. So I apologize for deviating from authenticity today, but I wanted to make this because the kids and I are trying to stick to a keto diet, which is kind of hard, especially when you love pasta as much as you guys know that I do. So I wanted to come up with something tonight that we could have that would kind of include the principles of the whole keto thing, which is low carbs and high fat, basically, but good fats and protein. So I'm kind of making it up on the fly. I was going to do a garden vegetable thing, but this kind of was calling to me a little bit more. So it's a very easy recipe that takes really, really few ingredients. All you need is butter. This is garlic from the garden. Look at that. I grew that myself. And then we have whipping cream. And then the pasta that I'm using tonight is a low carbohydrate pasta. It's made out of edamame. So this is going to have, let's see, 21 grams per 2-ounce serving. So that's about a quarter of this, which is actually a lot of pasta. So it's a lot lower carbohydrate than the other kind of stuff. We did find one other noodle. Let me show you guys that Luca and I tried. This is really good in Asian recipes. I made kind of a, where'd it go? There it is. I made a curry noodle dish last night. It turned out really, really well using these noodles here. And they're called shirataki noodles. And they have 4 grams of carbohydrates per quarter package. So this, which is about a little bit less than this package, almost no carbohydrates in these. So shirataki noodles, if you're trying to go with a carb-free diet, I think the texture is a little odd for an Italian style pasta because they're a little mushy, but they're perfect for like a ramen dish if you're making a ramen soup. I made a Thai red curry and then I put this in instead of rice because we're avoiding rice. So something interesting to think about. These are already done too. All you have to do is drain them, rinse them, and then you heat them through and they're all ready to go. So these edamame pasta noodles, we're gonna start with these as soon as we get our hot water going. All it is soybeans. That's the only thing in here. And they actually have a ton of iron in them. So that is the other thing that makes them great. And there's a lot of pastas out there these days that are made of vegetables. I've even seen Barilla, which is the famous brand from Parma. They have them, the vegetable ones now. So we'll give this a shot. I don't know if this keto diet is working, but I think that Luca looks trimmer. And Luca said to me, Mom, there's no way you could pull off that tank top if the diet wasn't working. So thank you, son, for your brutal teenage honesty. You're a gem. So, by the way, tomorrow is Luca's birthday, his 16th birthday. So, happy birthday, my love.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you are 16.
Neither can I.
I know, nobody can believe it. We have, for seasoning the chicken, we're going to start there. Paprika, just a little bit of paprika, not too much, like 1/4 teaspoon, something like that. And then we're going to put in just a few dashes of garlic powder. I think everything needs as much garlic as possible. This is all just seasoning kind of as I like. These are things I like that I thought would taste nice pairing with a cream sauce. So some thyme and then some onion powder. This onion powder is probably 20 years old. I need to replace it. And then some pepper. And this is a lemon pepper, so it'll have just a nice little hint of flavor added. And then, of course, we need to have salt. So just a little bit of salt, too. We'll toss this in here. And then I bought these pre-chopped chicken pieces because they were 2 for 1, so good deal. And when you're feeding teenagers, you got to think in bulk. I made an entire pork shoulder yesterday, and it is almost all gone today. Thank you, Luca. Yeah, these are good. So I'm just going to toss these in a little bit of a seasoning. All I'm going to do with these, ooh yeah, I've got to wash my hands. Let's get these rolling. We're going to turn on the stove and get our frying pan rolling after I obviously rinse my hands. I hope you guys enjoyed the little cooking lesson with my dad. My dad was incredibly excited. He specifically asked us to come down to his house, which is an hour away from my house, so that we could do that cooking lesson for you guys. That was the whole reason we went down, because Grandpa was excited about sharing a new cooking skill with all of you.
Grandpa's so sweet.
He is so sweet. Okay, so maybe just a couple more pieces of chicken. We'll just massage in there. So I'm not putting anything on here, no olive oil or anything. You could, if you wanted to, marinate this in Greek yogurt or olive oil also, if you want to give them extra flavor. All right, rinsed hands. So let's get our grill pan rolling here. I'm going to use some good olive oil. You could add some sliced onions or something like that to this if you want. Just remember, you are the boss, and the cooking is what you want it to be. So while that stuff is getting ready, we're going to set those aside, and then the primary ingredients to an Alfredo sauce are butter and cream. So again, high fat, I know, but oddly enough, if you do this carbohydrate-free diet, that's what you want, is the high fat stuff, which is just so counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense to me at all, but you know what? It seems to be working, so I'm gonna go with it. And who can really disagree with a diet that allows you to eat more bacon? What do you think, Luca?
I completely agree.
Yeah. So we're gonna crush these sweet little homemade garlic cloves. Oh, they're so sweet. They're like little baby miniature garlic cloves.
Mama, why would you kill babies?
Luca. The teens. Okay. So always, again, you guys have seen me do this before, but it's the right way to do it, is to smash the garlic first, because it's easier to peel that way, but then also that kind of releases the juices before you chop it up. So I think it's better. I don't own a garlic press, and I think garlic presses are an infuriating waste of time, because yeah, you get your garlic out quickly, but then you spend 20 minutes cleaning them. So I do not like garlic presses, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody, I've never seen anybody I know use them in Italy. Maybe professional chefs do, I don't know. Everybody that I've ever seen cook in Italy uses, they crush the garlic with the side of a knife and then they chop it.
Actually, Grandpa uses garlic presses in an interesting way. He uses them to mash potatoes so they're super smooth.
Yeah, that's a time-consuming way to do it, but yeah.
But yeah, he did that for like, I forget what it was. It was like 4th of July, because it was a special occasion. He spent a little bit of extra effort and crushed the potatoes with the garlic press.
For those of you that have been asking me to do a list of cooking gadgets and ingredients that you can buy off of Amazon, I am working on that. That is up on my website somewhat. It's not done, but it's at least started. And for those of you who would love to get my recipes, I haven't quite gotten there yet, but one of my ideas perhaps will be that can be a special thing for my Patreon subscribers. So I'll let you guys know when I get around to that project. But writing down all my recipes is that's gonna take some time. So we'll just have to wait on that. I just wanted to also mention that the Guide Collective is off and running, and I cannot tell you how excited I am about that. That was a labor of love, big time, with a bunch of colleagues, and we have enjoyed talking 2-3 times a week, and it's really been a great way for us all to stay connected. All of us who were these guides, we really enjoy having a reason to get together every week and to talk and to be a support group. So I hope that if you have some time, you'll check out what we're doing with Guide Collective. And we're going to publish new articles weekly. And we have the big drop of the magazine of the month, the theme of the month, which this month is bread. Next month in September, we're going to be analyzing democracy from a lot of different angles. So we'll have our writers tackle that theme on their own. So it's really exciting. And we also have some other interesting virtual tours and events that are going to start popping up on that feed shortly. So be sure to follow it if you haven't yet. Because Guide Collective has been kind of a big passion project of mine. So if you're enjoying following me here, I think you're going to like the Guide Collector. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and put this on our back burner here. Here. And then this is already boiling. I like to try and think about how to stage things in terms of like how long does each thing take to cook. So you have to be real careful when you're cooking. The chicken's going to take the longest. I don't want to cook the chicken in the same pot as the sauce because the juices from the chicken are going to kind of ruin the cream sauce if I do that. So here's this edamame pasta, which is weirdly filling. We took this camping. Oh boy, it's got 44% of your daily intake of fiber. That's insane. But the weird thing about this when we cooked it when we were camping was how quickly it cooked. It cooked like bonkers fast. And where's the instructions? I didn't see the instructions on here. It was like 3 minutes. So, no oh, there we go. 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, that was right. 3 to 4 minutes. So, because this is only 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to kind of hang on to this for a sec. So, we're going to proceed over to the Alfredo sauce. So the Alfredo sauce takes about 3/4 of a stick of butter to start. I know what you're thinking. That can't be good for you. Maybe it's not good for me like every day, but it's a nice treat. So if you don't like chicken, you don't have to do the chicken. You can do some arugula. That would be a nice thing to put on top. Greens of some kind. Herbs, you could do chives. Kind of a few. I just want to add some protein in. Okay, so this is rolling. And then the next thing we're going to put in is the garlic. Some recipes have you putting in the garlic later. I don't want to do that. I like to put the garlic in up front and kind of toast it because then it has a little bit milder flavor. But I have a big, big love for garlic. So. Alright, so this is seriously like about the easiest sauce you could ever manage. Alright, so while that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and put in this weird edamame pasta. Alright, there we go. There's a lot of it. It doesn't look like much because it's smaller. The package is smaller than traditional pasta, but there's actually, as we found out when we were camping, there's a lot and it's heavier than regular pasta, so you don't actually need as much. And we have our chicken browning, which I can turn that way down. Turn that down to a bare simmer so that we just won't cook through. Nicely browned. Oh, you guys, it smells good. Smells really, really yummy. Make sure you've got it split. Okay. Yeah, it smells really garlic. It smells like garlic butter for crab right now. It smells super good. What do you think, Luca?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Smells like, yeah, browning garlic.
Yeah. So strictly speaking, this is what should happen with the Alfredo. You should not add anything else until the end. If you want, you can change it up. If you like herbs de Provence, if you like thyme, if you like garlic, if you like rosemary, you could actually put a little thing of fresh rosemary in here, and that would be an interesting alternate for this recipe. Yeah, this is all coming together really fast, so I gotta get working here. Glug, glug, glug. I would say about half of the cream, and then mix it together, and we'll just see how we're doing if it's starting to kind of come together. And then more of the cream. And all this is at this point now is simmering it to reduce it. And if for some reason when you do this, your cream sauce does not come together, what you need to do is add just a pinch of cornstarch. I'm going to whisk it in just a second to make sure it all combines, but that's pretty much that. These are practically cooked already, so I'm going to give them another minute. And then the chicken, like I said, we're pretty much, I think we're done. Yeah, to be done. I don't want it to dry out, so I'm going to turn that off. So let's turn this up a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and drain. Oh, the closet is in the sink, which is handy. So this step is a little weird because it's hard to know if it's really done. So, did you turn it off with this?
Huh?
Did I turn it off or did you turn it off?
I did not do anything. Well, actually I did. I mixed this, but...
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to undercook it a little bit. And then my trick, as you guys know, is always to toss the pasta in and cook it in the sauce. Okay, so edamame pasta is going to just sit over here for a few minutes. And then we're going to just focus on getting this Alfredo sauce to thicken. And it's starting to thicken. You can see it's bubbling. You don't want to waste too much, you're going to turn into cheese, right?
Mm.
So I think I need to add a little bit more cream. I think the official measurements on this are 1/4 cup of butter to 1 cup of cream. I'm making more than that, so that's why I put in most of a stick of butter. So the other measurement could be 3/4 a stick of butter and an entire pint of whipping cream, because we've used just about all of it. The other thing that makes a big difference with an Alfredo sauce is you're going to have to oversalt it. And I've told you guys that before. Just always, at least for me, I have to oversalt it because I don't tend to like super salty foods. So with this kind of a sauce, I oversalt it for my taste because once it goes on the pasta, then it doesn't actually taste nearly salty enough. Another benefit of this edamame pasta, it doesn't stick together. So we avoid that problem. Alright, so Luca, what are you looking forward to about your 16th birthday?
Oh, I'm looking forward to just spending a little bit of time with my friends.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them in like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. It's been rough for the teens, not being able to hang out with their friendsies. Alright, let's just let this burble a little bit, and while it's burbling, I'm going to start doing the part that is very boring, which is grating the cheese. It calls for Parmesan. I kind of prefer Pecorino. I think Pecorino has a little bit deeper flavor. I don't know if you can get Pecorino here. This is Pecorino that I bought last fall, I think. I always bring cheese home from Italy and then just store it in sealed blocks in the fridge and just pull it out and undo them when I need them. Because something like this can sit in your fridge for months, even up to a year or more. Let's give this a whisk, and I'm going to lower this heat down. There we go, just a little bubble. Now, as always with these sauces, it's kind of hard to know when are you done. And so I think the accumulated wisdom on that topic is that you need to get a spoon out. And you need to put your spoon in and see if it will coat the back of your spoon. Ah, look at that. That's really good already. Okay, so I'm going to put that down to just a bare simmer. Theoretically, you should be putting in about a cup of grated Parmesan or, I prefer, as I said, Pecorino. You can use a cheese like Gruyere. You could use blue cheese. This is just a cream sauce base. So you can kind of personalize it. And also, because we're always speaking about Cucina Quarantena, maybe you don't have anything good in your fridge and you just don't want to deal with the grocery store, which is always traumatizing these days. So you just use whatever you got. So you could use little odd bits and ends of cheeses. I have all kinds of random cheeses, goat cheese and brie and stuff like that in my fridge, which could in turn make a really nice cream sauce for pasta. All right, so I am very happy with that. Luca, do you want to be my guinea pig? Make sure I'm not on the wrong track here with consistency and taste. Che ne pensi?
That's very good.
All right.
I'd add a little bit more pepper.
Good call. Well, there's no pepper in it, so you would add some pepper. Yeah.
I suppose I would.
Yeah. Alfredo sauce does not have pepper in it. But again, I don't care about rules. You might have noticed that about me. I am not a rules-oriented human. My kids know that about me, right, baby?
Mm-hmm.
Mommy does not follow anybody's rules. All right. So always, always with the heat just on a very gentle, gentle kind of flame. Since this is kind of a delicate pasta, you immerse it. And this one here is really important that you put the pasta into the sauce, because what we found when we had this when we were camping is that this pasta is very, like, there's a lot of it. It's like having really thin hair but a lot of hair. So it's hard to get the sauce to soak into all of the strands. Because we found that it was a little heavy and dry when we had it camping. Even though I thought I put lots of sauce on it, it just didn't quite work. So this, I thought, would be a better choice of sauces to kind of work with the consistency of this pasta. So let me put this. All right. And Luca, are you just conducting in your head? Is that what's going on? Or are you signaling me? Are you signaling me, or are you conducting music in your head?
I'm conducting music in my head. Okay. Or rather, I'm listening to music and conducting. Okay. Wagner. He's very good.
He's very good. All right. Okay, so I think that's pretty nice. The consistency, it's a little thin, but Alfredo sauce typically is a little bit on the thin side. I think this is just about right. If you, because I'd like it to soak into the pasta just a little bit. You could, in theory, also let the pasta sauce kind of cook a little more. The other thing you could do, instead of chicken, you could do mushrooms. So if you prefer mushrooms, that would also work. So let's do plating now. So as always, nice solid colored dishes I think look the prettiest when you're plating things. So I use my blue ones. If you have white ones are always nice for presentation also. So I know I licked this spoon, but I'm eating it. This is my dinner, so I'm not really. If you come and eat dinner at my house, I promise I'm not going to lick the spoon before I give it to you. I promise I'm not going to feed you my spit. But it's just me and my kids, so they don't care. All right. So always when you're trying to get pasta out of a pan like this, especially one that's a little unusual like this, stick in a fork like you see in movies and twirl, and then use a spoon to lift it up. And this makes like a little nest, which I think is a very pretty way to present pasta. Like a nest. And then we've got our pieces of chicken. So we can just take a few little pieces of the chicken. You can cut it up a little smaller if you want, or you can do it in bigger pieces. You can put it, I think arranging it just on the top is very pretty. Whoop, don't fall away, little chicken pieces. There you go. It's like a chicken nest, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nest for the chicken. Oh boy, they're hot. All right, very pretty. And just to finish it all off, just an additional little grating of pecorino cheese. I think that's pretty. It looks like snow on the plate. All right. So there we have it. If you want to have a better look, we've got our edamame pasta, fettuccine Alfredo, sort of, with chicken. So an American take on a classic, but also keto friendly. So if you're doing a no carbohydrates diet, you can have this. It's good for you and you'll love it. So let's make sure you'll love it. I'm going to have to destroy this beautiful plating. You have to taste test it because it's for you. So, because I'm that good of a friend that I'm going to eat this pasta just for you to make sure that the instructions I gave you were correct, right? I'm just that kind of martyr, right, baby?
Yes.
It doesn't taste like regular pasta. You just have to, it doesn't, but this is the right sauce for fake pasta. So, because you kind of don't care. The Alfredo sauce is so good, doesn't really matter. You could eat a shoe covered in this stuff. Buono. Va bene. All right. So there you go. Fettuccine Alfredo with edamame pasta and chicken on top. That is your Cucina Quarantena lesson for the day. Tomorrow, please join us at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time we're going to be joined by a winemaker and also by my business partner, Andrew Vallone. And we're going to do an actual wine tasting where all three of us will have the same wine in hand, even though we're in three completely different places in the world. So it's going to be really fun. We're going to be joined by Radovic Cellars tomorrow. And that's going to be our first virtual wine tasting with the actual wines in our hands. It's kind of a concept I'm developing of figuring out how do we meet with winemakers and try their wines, and potentially in the future, maybe we can have you guys get a bottle beforehand as well. So kind of an exciting concept. And then we'll have Guides Roundtable on Thursday, and then Friday, please join us for a powwow about how to become a travel writer with my friend Dave Fox. So there you go. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Buona serata, and thanks for watching. Ciao.